Hello, it's Roger Cox. Welcome to my video. Hello, welcome. Are you discouraged about the growth of your business, about your network marketing business? Is it just not going as fast as you would like it to do? Maybe you were told it's going to be easy, and then you had these visions and these dreams of having your own business and really doing well, and it's just not working for you like you thought it might. Well, congratulations, you're not alone. I think every network marketer in the world has gone through this at some point, and to be honest, most of us, almost all of them, go through it quite regularly. We'll have some good spells and we'll have some bad spells where we feel like giving up, we're discouraged. So don't feel alone. But I'm hoping to kind of ease your mind a little bit. There's a couple of reasons actually why you might feel discouraged, and so let's just have a little chat here together, okay? And let's just talk this out a little bit. If things aren't going as fast as you would like, it's pretty common in the network marketing business. It's just the way it is, and I think every network marketer runs across this at some point, and most of us continually. It's not something that we've blasted through and we've solved and we're done with. It continues to pop its head up every once in a while. Even those who are making big checks, they're going to have months where they just, they're tired, or they're just feeling, they're discouraged. It's not growing like they would like. One of the things that we do too often when we're starting out in network marketing is that we judge ourselves, we compare ourselves compared to those who are making the news, basically. Those who are doing really well in their marketing business, we look at that and we start comparing ourselves to that. And that's going to hurt you. It's going to make you get discouraged. It's not a good thing to do, but yet we all do it. We're comparing our chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 30. Sometimes we see people who, from all outward appearances, looks like they just started and within weeks they're the top of the charts, and we think they're naturals. And the reality is, they're not starting from square one. They've gotten some skills behind them. They've gotten some experiences behind them that enabled them to start a little quicker. And so it's not, most of the time, it's not an overnight success. So when you see these people who are look like they're just like they're gurus, they're blowing through the ranks real quick, and you think that they got some stuff that I don't have. I can never do this. Well, you're half right. They probably do have some stuff that you don't have. But the stuff that they have that you don't have, you can get, and that's what learning, and that's what growing your network marketing business is all about. So let's talk about discouragement. There's one thing that I see sometimes is that people will get discouraged with their business, and when I talk to them about it, they ask me, well, what are you doing? What have you done in the past? And for a lot of them, the ugly truth is that they're not doing a lot. They're not doing the work, or the work that they're doing is very inconsistent. They'll go in spurts, for a few days, and then they kind of slack off, and so it's not a consistent work. And so one of the reasons that your business is not growing the way you would like is that you're just simply not doing the work. And one of my mentors, he had a quote that I really like, and it says, "Don't complain about the work that you didn't do." So in other words, if you're going to make it big, and if you're going to be successful in network marketing, you got to do the work. So don't complain about the work that you didn't do in the first place. So that's one of the reasons why your business is not growing, is because, quite honestly, if you take a look, be retrospective about yourself and take a good look. Am I really doing the work that I need to be doing in order to move this forward? Okay, so that's one thing you can do. Now, one of the reasons why your business is not growing like you would like is because you don't have the skills yet. You don't have the skill set. I know we're told when we come into this industry that it's easy, anybody can do it, and it's true. Anybody can do it, but not everybody will do it, because it does take a certain. You have to want to learn some skills. You have to learn how to do things a little differently. And unfortunately, a lot of uplines, when they recruit people, their training programs lack. Just to be honest from my heart, their training programs, they lack. they're not teaching you how to do it online the way that it's effective. Because most of them will tell you just to promote your product on Facebook or on social media and just tell everybody about it. And unfortunately, that's not the most effective way to do it. And you'll run into a lot of rejection. You'll run into a lot of obstacles, and it's easy to get discouraged when you get a lot of rejection and you get a lot of obstacles, and then that tends to make you not to want to do the work that you have to do in order to move it forward. So not having the skill, there are certain skill sets that you need to have in doing network marketing. You know, no matter what your upline or no matter what your company tells you, you just can't go out and promote and talk about your product, your opportunity, and put it out online and hope for good results. You know, you'll get some early easy fruit from your friends and the people who want to support you and who like you, but to grow to any size, it's not adequate. That's not how you're going to have to do it. So get the skills, and you know, I have resources I can give you for the skills. So you can get the skills. So if the reason why you're discouraged and because your business isn't growing, if it is the fact that you just don't have the skills, then that's one thing. That's fixable. We can fix that. It's something that you can grow from. Because you know, think about this. If you decide that you want to get some schooling, for example, to go to, I don't know, maybe you want to be a lawyer, or you want to be a doctor, or you want to be an engineer, or whatever. So you've got to have some skills to do that, right? You just don't start doing it. I mean, you can, but it's going to take a while for you to pick up those skills in order to become successful in whatever industry that you're doing. And it's the same thing in network marketing. I don't know why we think it's any different, because it's not. It's an industry, it's a profession, and there are certain skills that you have to have in order to be successful. And we need to recognize that and realize that. And if we don't have the skills, then search, you know, look for ways to get those skills. Also, the other thing I see that happens way too often is that we're impatient. We're just simply impatient. So maybe you're doing the work. Maybe you're consistently doing the work, and it just hasn't happened. I've talked to people who are doing that. They're doing the work and they're doing it consistently, but they haven't begun to get results yet. And so one of the questions I ask them is, well, how long have you been doing this? You know, how long have you been in network marketing? How long have you been in this particular company? How long have you been promoting your product on social media? And you know what the common response is? 90% of the time it's less than 1 year. Most of the time it's 3 or 4 months, you know, maybe 6 months at the most. So we're impatient. We want to have success right now. And no matter what your upline tells you or what your company tells you, most of the time, unless you already have those skills in place, you are not going to come in and be pulling down big figures and selling a lot of product within just a few months, especially on social media, because with social media it's a reputation type thing. In order for you to sell things on social media, people need to know, like, and trust you, or they're not going to buy a whole lot. You know, you don't buy things from people that you don't trust. So you have to develop that relationship with your audience or your tribe or whatever you want to call it. You have to develop that relationship where you have a sufficient number of people who have seen you before, who know you, who might even like you a little bit, and most of all, they've got to trust you, because people are reluctant to buy things online if they don't trust you. I mean, that's just human nature, right? So it takes a while to develop that relationship. It just doesn't happen overnight. So when I run across people who are trying to do a network marketing business, and I ask them, well, how long have you been doing this? You know, if you're struggling and you're not getting sales and you're not getting recruits, how long have you been doing this? And when they tell me it's been 3 or 4 months or 6 months or even a year sometimes, it's just not sufficient. They need more time to develop in order to start getting the results. Now, if you run into people sometimes who do get results right away, and again, it goes back to it's because they're starting at a different place than where you are. They already have some skills in place. They have some communication skills. They have people skills. They have experiences that that they can rely on. They're not starting from scratch. In other words, they're starting in chapter 30 where you're starting in chapter 1. You have to start from the beginning, and you have to be patient. It's going to take some time. So, don't expect a lot to happen in the first few months. Going back to school example, I remember I talked about if you want to be an engineer or a lawyer or a doctor or something, you don't go into your first semester, and after your first semester, maybe you got all A's in your classes in your first semester. But if you go out and try to be an engineer or try to be a doctor or try to be, a professional in whatever industry it is, after one semester of training, do you expect to be successful at it? Don't you expect it to take a little time, and you're going to have to learn some more things? A university degree, we're talking at least 4 years for most majors. So why do we expect anything less with network marketing? It's a profession. It's an industry. There's skills you got to know. So why do you expect that, 4 years even? The people do it in 4 years. But so many people, we expect it to happen within months. And very few people even last a year. If they're not getting a profit within a year, they're, too often we say network marketing doesn't work. Well, what if you were to say that if someone's going to become someone's going to become a lawyer, for example, and after one semester they say, well, this isn't working. Being a lawyer doesn't work. It's a scam, whatever. It's the same principles. You got to put the time in, and you have to do the work. You have to do the work consistently for a period of time, and then you can begin to expect the results. I hope that makes a little sense for you. We so often think that this is going to be easy, and it is easy compared to a lot of things. We just basically we communicate with people in a way that they begin to know, like, and trust us. And so it's going to take some time, especially if you're starting from scratch. You have to develop your tribe. You have to develop your audience, people who know you, and people who are a lot like you, to be quite frank. So it's going to take some time. It's going to take some skill. So I guess my advice, my counsel to you is, if you are discouraged with your business, that it's not growing as fast as you would like, or maybe it's not even growing at all, take a good look. Number one, where are you at with your skills? Are your skills up to snuff? Have you learned how to build a business on social media? I mean, you just don't start doing it. There's some principles, and there's some things that you need to understand in order to do it online. It's a total different world, at least in my opinion. It's a total different world from doing it offline. So you got to learn the skills. The other thing that happens, again, take a look at your skills, and then take a good look at what your expectations are. Have you only been doing it for a few months? Or maybe even a year? Even a year is not long enough in most cases. There's as an example, one of the affiliate programs that I promote is what I've noticed in that is a lot of people they'll go for 4 or 5 months, and they're not they're building their skills, because that's what this affiliate program does. It teaches you skills, how to do it on social media. And so they're doing this, and they're not getting any results after 4 or 5 months, and a lot of times they quit because they're expending some money for this education, and it's not at that moment it's not bringing in any profit, any income, and so they think it's not going to work, and so they just quit. But the one thing I've noticed when I look at some of my mentors and some of the people who have been through this program, this affiliate program, many of them, if not most of them, have struggled for the first 2 years. They haven't made any money in 2 years, and they've been putting out money, to develop their skills and to get the education that they need. But for 2 years, they're not getting results. And then you know what happens for most of these? After 2 years, something happens. There's a breakthrough, and all of a sudden, all of their work starts to pay off, and they're not really doing anything differently. They've just been doing the fundamentals consistently, time after time. And so after, they've been working for 2 years and there's nothing, and then all of a sudden it starts to happen for them. They get the breakthrough. And so if these people, they're high levels, in this particular affiliate company now. But if they would have quit, If they would have stopped after a year, if they would have stopped after 2 years, they never would have gotten to where they're at now. But they were patient enough. They kept learning. They kept doing the work. They kept consistently doing the work and being patient, knowing that it's going to take some time. And they're for a lot of them, for most of them, I've kind of kept track. And it seems like that 18 months to 2 year mark is very important. And if you consistently do the work for that 2 years, it seems like at that point there's something that happens. I can't explain it, but there's something that just happens. You get your breakthrough. You start getting results. People start calling you. People start following you, and you begin to get some results. So just to wrap this up, if you're discouraged about your business, take a good look at number one: are you consistently doing the work? Do you have the skills? Are you developing the skills that you don't have, and so that you can succeed at this? And number two, have you given it enough time? We're talking more than just a few months, more than maybe even more than a year, depending on the industry, depending on the business that you're in. Give it some time to work. You don't expect a doctor to be able to be a doctor in just a few months' time. It takes years of practice and study, and it's the same way with network marketing. It takes some time to develop that. Hope this was good for you. Oh, and what I would like for you to do, what I request that you do, is if this is valuable, first of all, if this is valuable to you at all, share it with your teams, with your groups. And number two is I'm offering you a 10-day trial to a process, to a program that will actually teach you what you need to know in order to do this successfully on social media. It'll actually give you a 10-day trial into the full program that there's there. And you can get in there and you can get all the information. There's training material that just goes out the doors. There's so much training on any social media that you can think of. There's there's blogging. There's Facebook, Snapchat. There's capture pages. There's autoresponders, paid ads, all of it, and much more. There's so much information there that you would never get through it in a year probably. But I'm offering it to you for 10 days. You can get all of this, and you can study as much as you want. And I encourage you to just fill your brain with this stuff in those 10 days. 10-day trial, full access to everything, and it costs you $10. And if all you get out of it is just some education, then it's greatly worth the $10 and more. So that's my call to action. Please do that if you have any interest at all in learning how to do this, so that you don't get discouraged. And talk to me, message me, let me know if you want to do this, or if you just want to talk. If you're having problems with your business, we can chat about it. And maybe we can see, is it one of those things that I just talked about? Is it the fact that you don't have the skills, or is it the fact that you're just not given enough time? I apologize for the telephone. Telephones have that, they're inconvenient sometimes, right? And then when the dog starts howling because the phone's ringing, that's a whole nother story. But I'm going to finish this up. I've gone on long enough. You guys have a great day, and contact me. We'll just chat. We'll just have a good chat. We'll talk to you later. Bye.